Hello everyone. Welcome today for an interesting lecture of Professor Wang, who just arrived from Taiwan, China, and she's going to give us in person, which is amazing that she managed to come to Poznań to give us a lecture in the COVID time. She will give us a lecture on monetization for IP, how AI and big data technology impact on intellectual property. The subject is very interesting, and I hope you will see the newest trends in the patent law. The students, as you can see, are very international. They are coming from different countries. We have students from Ukraine, Uzbekistan, then from France, Portugal, Spain, as well from US, which is very interesting. We have a student from US who is studying now in the Netherlands, and he's for Erasmus here in Poland, Poznań. So Professor Wang is a very famous person in IP world. She is specialized in IP law and especially in the patent law. The patent law, as you know, is a part of intellectual property. And Professor Mei-HsinWang is an expert in as well in biochemistry and technology. She is, what is very interesting, even an owner of 60 patents, which is amazing. So you can see not only the traditional knowledge, I mean the academic knowledge, but also a practitioner. Professor Wang is, we also published a book together in 2015. So it means I have a chapter in the book edited by Professor Wang. It was after the conference, which was in New Delhi, India. So I still remember the nice place, the university, and very interesting lectures. I hope that we'll have in the future a closer cooperation. I hope that students from Taiwan and from Poland will meet each other, and you can have a seminar or lectures. And Professor Mei-Hsin, the floor is yours. You have 45 minutes. And then we have another 45 minutes for a nice discussion. So students, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them. I think that Professor Wang will answer them with a big pleasure. And I hope that we will see all together in the future with Professor Mei-HsinWang and her students. It could be Poland, Taiwan, India, or all over the world. So, Professor Wang, the floor is yours. Thank you very much once again for coming to Poznań personally.
Thank you, Jacob. Many thanks for this wonderful performance for us to share our good intention and my work with university in UAM. It's great honor, all the classmates from all over the world. It's a privilege for me to share you what I have done on my research monetization for IP, how AI and big data technology impact on intellectual property. I'm the author of Professor Jakub Kepinski. Of course, thank you for his very kind introduction. This is the photo of my university. I sincerely hope after my presentation, I could bring the interest for our future research together with your university and my university for students, for faculties, or even for the industry. We can work together for better marriage, research, teaching, and economy although all related to intellectual property, but intellectual property have been benefits for all industry. My university is a National Union University. It was founded in 1991. It's a top 3 university of science and technology in Taiwan. It's a Paragon University of Innovative Teaching in Taiwan. Cultural engineer have been accredited by IEET. Cultural management also have been accredited by AACSB. It was ranking around 200 of emerging economies ranking 2021. Ranking 28 for industry income ranking. Ranking about 300 about the impact ranking on higher education. It was the 74 in UI Green Matrix World University ranking into 2021. We have 5 colleges: the College of Engineering, College of Management, College of Design, and College of Humanities and Applied Science, and also College of Future. We have 23 undergraduate departments, 27 master courses, and 13 doctorate degrees. Now we turn our focus back to IP. First, I would like to draw your attention about the patent value example. You need to know the value before you have your interest, how you would like to further explore your study on this patent in the industry. It has become a new kind of asset. But here I would like to show you some example. This is the patent, US patent 6517866. It's a serotonin salt sustained release dosage form. It's a pharmaceutical patent, and its applicants is Pfizer. Of course, the value is so high. It's over 1.7 billion. You may ask why pharmaceutical patents, they are particularly high. Because if you have to calculate the value, not only the technology value, but also the business value, because the patient prevalence, you have to accumulate how many patient pool, and if the medicine was taken daily, or some medicine have to take 3 times a day, 4 times a day, or they have to take for life. Sometimes, for example, diabetes or hypertension, hyperlipidemia, certain disease they have to take every day, sometimes take more than 1 day. So accumulate the prevalence and also the incidence, then the business scope will be much higher than you can imagine. You can buy a mobile phone once upon a certain period of time, but you have to take medicine every day if you unfortunately suffer from chronic disease. So here you see all those patents, single patents, they could value over $1 billion. But however, different industry have different scenario. For example, these patents, these 4.5 billion value patents for over 6,000 patents, they were originally from Nortel network, from Nortel network. It was bankrupt, but their patent mainly essential standard patent for mobile phone. Therefore, the Google group and also the Rockstar Consortium, 2 groups, compete with this bunch of the patent. So the patent was initially opening for the billing about 90 million, but finally the end price was 4.5 billion. And immediately after Rockstar Consortium, they have acquired this bunch of patent. They start a patent war. So you may have heard a couple of years ago, Apple, Samsung, they have been suing each other for thousands, hundreds patents, patent litigations, and then it was finally ended by this RPS that they stood out as a middle person, and then he helped to stop this. They stopped this patent war, and how he did that? HTC, Samsung, LG, Xiaomi. These are the mobile phone group from Android system, Google group. So they pay 90 million US to purchase the rest of the patent belong to RPS and ask RPS to ask his colleagues, that means Apple, Ericsson, Microsoft, BlackBerry, Sony, stop withdraw their patent litigation. There are further inside story I would like to share you. You may wonder why, because mobile phone looks almost the same. Or we can't say they're the same, they have different function, they have different apps, they have different shape, different design. But in general, they are a piece of a block, a brick, and then they have a lot of function for you to communicate with people, taking photo, multiple functions. By the time I was a consultant for intellectual discovery, they told me the more litigation, the more judgments from the court, the essential standard patents royalty rate can be decided with much lower than their initially negotiation with Apple or the other major companies. That's why there are so many patent litigation ongoing for mobile phone. The more litigation ongoing, for example, Samsung was rewarded by their name, their courage. It's a free advertisement, and they actually benefit from the very low royalty rate for those essential standard patents. That was the reason why Apple and these other Rockstar Consortium members, they finally wish to cease the patent war, because the more patent war ongoing, the lower the essential standard rate for each patent. So sometimes litigation have different purpose. It could be for gaining the damage award, intimidating your competitor, eliminate disease the emerging competitors, intimidate the market, and get your reputation. Many economic reasons ongoing. How to monetize patent? You could use licensing, as we just mentioned, licensing for royalty. But nowadays, there's in particular in 3C industry, there are so many software patents. If each patent they charge 1 to 3%, then the goods will be super expensive. That's why, unless you intimidate your in potential infringer or your potential licensees, they were not willing to pay. So that's why patent war everywhere. People were thinking, as long as I can design the run, I don't have to pay. So patent industry getting bigger and bigger. So patent licensing for royalty is one measure. Patent sale, you sell the patent, is another way to get the return on investment for your patents. Patent enforcement, litigation, of course. Patent based on partnership, I will show you later. Patent-based merger acquisition, and patent-based lending, patent-backed securitization, or even by tokenization. In order to really decide the value and quality of the patent, AI, big data analysis, blockchain, NFT, and many emerging technology, they have been employed to explore the real value and quality of the patent, as there are so many patents, and it was kind of difficulty for deciding those value and quality only by human efforts. So, of course, those technology also developed by human efforts. Then now I would like to share you the royalty rate generally in main industry. As you can see, the computer industry, the royalty rate around 0 to 5%. It's not very high, but for manufacture, there will be around 2 to 5%. That is a little bit higher than for the general manufacturer. For food or consumer, they could even reach to 10%, much higher. For chemical industry, they will mainly remain at 2 to 5%. Pharmaceutical, much higher, 5 to 10%, or even could be even higher, depends on the quality and depends on the need, the market. So group licensing become a trendy fashion for faster and faster commercialized expansion globally. patent sale, there are a lot of patent sale ongoing because it's very unique scenario. The Japanese company, they tend to file thousands of patents. The leading Japanese company, they always have couple 100,000 patents. That was very common, but they also abandoned patents in a large portion. So I will show you this example later. So for patents, they will not apply to become a service or product. They could sell to others. For example, Sharp, IBM, NCR, they ever once sold a patent to Huawei. Ericsson, our partner NEC, they sold their patent to Lenovo. Panasonic once sold patents to WLAN, Inventorgy, and Cisco. This WLAN, Inventorgy, and Cisco, they are the patent licensing company. They are not an operation company like the Huawei or Lenovo. They manufacture product, they sell product. When they do not have enough patent, they acquire patent from the other companies. But these companies, they are major on patent licensing. Thereafter, we may show you these examples. But you already have experience for MP1, MP2, MP3. They were licensed by MPAC Group. Patent enforcement litigation. Litigation is another very common technique. As you see, the Polaroid versus Kodak, it was awarded 873 millions, and Ingen Roche over 500 millions. So you can see in pharmaceutical and chemical industry, those litigation damage are higher than the mobile phone industry. Then here I would like to show you the Varnes to Apple case. It was a few years ago, but it spent them 5 to 8 years for the litigation, and it's the patent related to FaceTime and iMessages. The patent issued these 4 patents, and these 4 patents gained over 500 million USD. So that's quite an achievement. But I would like to show you, if your patent is intended to reach high damage award, you must have certain quality assurance. We use the system we apply, that's IPv Zeus Analytics. We analyze the independent claim. Independent claim are often be the most important claim for each patent. So you see the independent claim for 1, 10, and 11, 13, the score is 0. That means there's no similar art compared with them. So the uniqueness is high. That's why they can win the patent. So the system, this AI system, that will help you to accumulate and compiling and comparison with the patent they could retrieve from all patent offices, and then compare with the similarity of text, claim structure, citation, everything, and give the ranking. So when it's 0, that means there's no other patents standing from this patent. So that means they are the number 1. They also mean that. So for the second patent, the claim 1 is 0. As we mentioned, the claim 1 are often claim 1s are often the most important patent. And claim 36, this is independent patent, score 61, and claim 60 score 63. Then we consider this a little bit weak, so we further analyze their claim structure. The element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, and also further the comparison. So the AI system, they will help you to identify the strength, weakness, and once you figure out where is the main weakness, then you can further break down to compare with other similar pattern to see which pattern we can apply to invalidate this part. We compare with this pattern, and we use that to compare with this weakest patent claim. and the more patent claim you can invalidate, the less damage you should pay. So first, we have to identify the strengths, the overall strengths of the patent. So we use another system. This is the patent cloud. We use two systems. One is patent cloud. One is Zeus Analytics. We use patent cloud to identify their patent quality. Of course, different systems, they have different rating principle, but you get a general idea how to further dig in the strategy. So we have the quality ranking here, but the value, quality and value, sometimes you may wonder why they are not consistent. Oh, you may have very good quality patent, but if you don't use it to be a service or a product or enforcement, asking for royalty or litigate, then of course the value can be high. Quality is the nature of the patent, but the value also related to the efforts for the patent owner, whether they have diligently to gain the value back. The Zeus Analytics help us to find the similarity patterns in the world comparison and help you to make the decision whether you should settle, you should further go on the litigation, and if you want to go on litigation, find which claim, which element, use which pattern or which reference you can invalidate them. They help you to attack and defend. As I just mentioned, the Zeus system, here you can see the system will automatically list 80 patents, which are the most similar to yours, give a ranking, and they will give it a quality score, and whether they are in the same classification. And based on the AI comparison, the score is also here. The AI system have another advantage is you can immediately compare the text. If you choose this pattern, compare with the claim, and they could highlight it. As you can see, they have the colors, right? They will highlight the keywords. You can emphasize specific keyword terms. They help you to prepare documents for litigation, for the court, or for the customs. And that's very valuable. And this is the image from patent crawler system we have just show you. As you can see here, they were ranking the quality and also the value of the patent. From the interface, you can easily read through the patent, family, citation, history, original document if you want to read them all, and so you can also make a memo. And now I would like to turn your focus on another measures. This is the partnership. How you can partnership to strengthen yourself. Patent alliance. I give you example. I wonder, have you heard wireless charging? Because each device have its own charging connection line plug. That's really complicated. But if we can charge our device wireless, that's very convenient. But before the product come on the market, you have your idea, your invention, your technology, and you have to file patent. But after that, you find out one needs may have different solution. For example, the wireless charging, you can use conduction, microwave, resonance, different mechanism for gaining the purpose. So therefore, there are three patent alliance for the people that own the similar technology, and they will prefer to group together and hope their technology become the mainstream in the market. That's what we call standard. So there are three: Wireless Power Consortium, Alliance for Wireless Power, Power Meter Alliance, three alliance. But the most famous one is WPC. It's a technology from MIT in United States, and it has its standard for QI. So if you have QI, you know it's from WPC. The other A4WP and Power Meter Alliance, these two alliance, they they also wish their technology patent, their technology become the market mainstream. But however, it was so difficult to compete with WPC. So these two, A4WP and PMA, they alliance to rename as Airfield Alliance and hoping they could compete with WPC. Here I would like to show you the members and the situation here. Previously, as we mentioned, we have A4WP, A4WP, PMA, WPC, three alliance. Their technology service product are all mainly focused on wireless charging. But as you can see, the key member, Panasonic, is a member of these two, A4WP and PMA, also WPC. And in WPC, he's a board member. Of course, he's a strong supporter for WPC. For Qualcomm, it's the member of PMA, but he's also the board member for A4WP and WPC because they have different mechanisms. One is for resonance, one is for conduction. If you want to transform your power to another device, you can use resonance, conduction, and also microwave, different technology. A different technology have many patents. And different technology, they form different alliance. I mean, it may be you call it a group like an Android group, iOS group, whatever. Similar situation. And Samsung, they are a board member for A4WP and also PMA and WPC. So you see, WPC is the major technology. But why this other company, they still invest on other technology? Because you never know. You never know which one will become the market mainstream. I would use 4G mobile phone as example. They have two technology. One is LTE. The other system is WiMAX. WiMAX has a strong leader called Intel. But LTE was promoted, the technology was promoted by Cisco, we have seen, and also AMPEC. They are much better in negotiating with governmental monopoly and antitrust authorities. That's why their consortium, their alliance pass faster and more successful. So the technology they are promoting will be more quickly explored to the world. But what happened to the other system or technology if they are not accepted as a standard? They will become valueless. Yeah, there are still a technology, may have new application, but it did not become the 4G mobile phone main technology, then it will lose major market. So the 4G technology now is LTE. Of course, now we have migrating to 5G system already. So what I have told you is from the history, we learn, the world is not so easy. You need to have invention. You need to make it a real technology or service. You need to have patent protected. You need to make a big group of friends, and they must be powerful to sustain your technology, become the major leader in the world. That's how your product could continually successful with good sales in the world. This is a case I would like to apply for patent-based partnership. And another how to benefit from and get more return on investment for your patent is merger acquisition, patent-based merger acquisition. Avango is a small company, not very small, still ranking 171 patent-wise in the United States. It was originally spin-off from Hewlett-Packard and supported by Singapore government. They funding Damaxing Jijin, and then they courageously acquired LSI with 6.6 billion. Then after that, further acquire Broadcom with 33 billion. And you can see their ranking quickly become the number 13 patent-wise in United States patent ranking. But industry-wise, he became the #1 chip design company, even bigger than MediaTek in Taiwan. After MediaTek immediately acquired another 4 company to maintain his market competency. So if you don't have sufficient or competent technology, you may acquire merger acquisition together, then you will become stronger and stronger. But I would further like to know, what is this part AI and big data play the role? Because as I told you, that many I was the consultant for intellectual discovery by the time, and then they told me many top class patents were already sold to intellectual discovery before merger acquisition. So if you are the buyer, you certainly do not wish this happen. If you were in a Vanguard, you would not wish this happen. But how could you prevent it? You need help. You need AI. You need big data analysis to analyze pattern, because their pattern is not small number. You have difficulty to analyze one by one. So you need AI, you need machine, you need support from this emerging technology. They help you grouping, analyze the class and the quality of the pattern of those patterns in your company, and then you make decision what you want to do, and you can have better management. So the company I mentioned about intellectual discovery is partially funded by the government and partially funded by the leading company in Korea. They are pro bono service, but they finally turned out privatized. They also need to benefit from their patents, of course. If you don't benefit from your patents, how could you prove your idea, your vision, your major, your strategy is correct? So it's the intellectual discovery. They have the mission. They want to lead innovation IP world ecosystem. They provide global IP dispute solution. They operate invention capital to stimulate commercialization and create idea innovation. And it has 3 companies. It's a group company. For ID Venture, they support individual inventors. The role is like VC angel, help IP-based investment, IP-based venture incubation, and IP-based merger acquisition. And then Ideal Bridge is they support medium, small company to grow bigger. So the IP investment fund, IP liquidation finance, help them to provide IP-based financing. For intellectual discovery, they pool partners together to support leading companies defending the foreign attack, because by the time there are so many patent troll and even competitor, they will attack you with the with patent related issues. So they did IP R&D, IP mining, IP pool management, IP licensing, IP commercialization, MMA transaction, and consultancy. So what I did, they do technology-based investment, IP-based investment. You may ask me, what's the difference between technology and IP? Technology may not be protected by IP, but IP may not turn into a service or product. IP that could be trade secret, they could be patent, they could be copyright, they could be patents. They're related but a little bit different. IP securitization, IP debt finance, and secondary fund and debt finance. But why secondary? Because you may attack by more than one patent troll, then you have one loan, you may need another sometimes. So you may use your patent to pledge for the funding again and again. But as long as you pay for the patents, the fees, then there will be problem. Or IP R&D, IP pool licensing. Another technique is patent-backed securitization. What is patent-backed securitization? I will take this example. For example, the patent owner is Yale. It has a patent which is to treat AIDS. So you know, so they licensing to male script. But you know, the medicine, they need many phases of a clinical trial, preclinical trial, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3A, phase 3B, phase 4. Even on the market, they need the market surveillance. And sometimes they have to file FDA new indications or build factories, doing marketing. They all cost a lot. Therefore, they use their patent as a pledge, and they move their patent special purpose company, for example, the Royal Fund, and they have the financial company to issue a bond to the public. So the public will pay for the fee, and they use the fee to conduct the plan originally for the securitization, no matter it's building a factory, marketing, finding new indication, doing new clinical trial, or what specific R&D, as long as they fulfill their purpose, their plan, and by the end, they pay the interest and the investment back to the investor, and then close the securitization. Then after that, the patent will return back to the patent owner. So in this case, there are many things involved. So they have the purchase price of the royalty stream. They have the right for the royalty stream. That's the patent owner. They have the third company, special purpose company or trust, take care of the patent, monitor the plan to go as the proposed. But they also have a risk remote control mechanism. In case anything happens, for example, if this pandemic happened, they are conducting clinical trial. Certainly people can go out, they were locked down, they couldn't conduct the clinical trial smoothly, then sometimes the clinical trial may fail. That's what they are unexpected risk. So we need a risk control mechanism. And here there will be a funding to compensate the investor holder. Another possible risk is, for example, the ARDS medicine. Recently, you will find they were all granted by the domestic company for compulsory licensing. Then the income will be much lower than the original plan. So in this case, the revenue or the profit will not be as good as plan proposed. In this case, they also need this risk remote control system, but sometimes the company may also bankrupt. You will never know, or the inventor may pass away, and then maybe technology somewhere could not be mass production. That was also happen sometimes. Therefore, for many reasons, we need the security for the risk management control. That's why patent they will hold in a special purpose company, and to avoid the risk from the patent owner or the licensor. For the process of securitization, we have to identify the underlying assets. Then we establish a special purpose, underlying assets transfer, security insurance, I just mentioned, and sale, and monitor the asset management and services. In this part, we need to have a credit enhancement mechanism, credit rating, quality, and the plan. For example, in this case, this medicine, is it really will value that much? Is the market is really that big? Will it manufacturing will be smoothly, so the market will grow as expected? So we need the credit rating, we need identification, investigation of underlying assets. Okay, there have been many patent securitization based royalty stream. AstraZeneca done that, New York University, Emory University, because I'm presenting in university, and your university is a leading university in Poland, and I believe you have many good technology or invention there. That's why I put more efforts on this securitization. And for example, the memory Sloan Kettering, they all have successful plan in the past for patent securitization. It's not only in the pharmaceutical case. In film industry, music industry, sport, fast food, pharma, apparel, it's very common. But I would like to mention this. as I mentioned, there could be risk, but risk could also be a purpose for securitization. I will give an example. This medicine, FTC, and this medicine, 3TC, they are originally from their mother molecule, this one. So this is the two sons. And the mother was discovered by FTC is here. Okay, so I use this chart to explain. So the mother molecule was developed by Emory University, and there was a student from Burgo-Westrom to study in Emory University. And the professor said, oh God, I don't have enough funding. Then this student said, professor, don't worry, my company has enough funding, but you must licensing the product to my company. So the product was originally licensed to Grasso Wellcome. The company Wellcome Trust, after merger acquisition, become Glasso Smith Spectrum. The company was finally, now it's called GSK, but it was the early stage. But after that, university continued to develop their product, FTC and also 3TC. And the Wellcome Trust, they also have a licensor from BioPharm. But in this case, it happens in university all the time because normally company prefer work with company. With university, there is always some complicated administration. Sometimes government may not allow them to sort out. They will only allow licensing, or it's more complicated with the inventorship between university and the individual professor. So it was a very weird situation. Grasso Wellcome and this company decided to invalidate Emory University patent. Of course, Emory University would not be happy. Therefore, they employ Citibank as a financial consultant and then hire another very, very powerful litigation team. There are 40 attorneys, spent 4 years, I believe. That's the efforts. They spent many years on litigation. So during the litigation, just like the Ukraine and Russian, and they negotiate, and they still fighting each other. So by the end, the Gillet and this, I would say Gillet and Royal Fund, they founded the university for this 525 million securitization. So after July fund, they were the founder for the securitization, and at the end, of course, they settled. There are many patents. Some of them win, some of them lost, and it also passed the American law for inventorship. It's a first to file or first to invent. So it's a big, long process. So finally, the 3TC is improved, of course, for the mother product. And then university received 525 million. And for this funding, 65% are from Gillette, 35% are from Royalty Fund, and Gillette Fund further paid 15 million for amending restatement, remanding the stating licensing agreement. So you see, being a lawyer it can earn a good fortune. Amending the licensing agreement could charge 50 million. It's a large amount, of course. But what I would like to mention is university gained 252 million, 65% from Gillette. But on the day of announcement, Gillette's stock price have 3% up. That means they earn 625 million on the day. So minus what they have paid for university, they have earned at least 268 million. That's why this is a capital management. There's nothing wrong. You play the capital game through many financial tools, securitization, and legal tool, litigation, upon those technology, invention, research, whatever. But as long as they gain more profit to support the research, as more the legal process, it's nothing wrong, right? So this is the case. That's why I spend so much time in university lecturing, and hope maybe your university can apply the similar things. And later on, I would like to introduce more financial games on patent. Patent-backed tokenization. So now you understand patent is not only for technology. It involves finance, economy, service, technology, litigation, insurance, many things involved. So they have service, they have data, they have technology, administration, and therefore everyone interested may play a role in the patent industry. Blockchain, what blockchain can involve? Because the patent litigation, patent transfer sometimes is not so transparent. If you buy a patent from a big company that buy a patent, they don't want to let people know, because that's certainly because you don't have this technology, all in the involved litigation, the threat from outside. So sometimes this all the hidden information, very difficult to dig up. If we use blockchain, whatever the movement, patent grant, patent fee has been paid, or patent transfer, the information will be transparent. And that helps because this market has been profited by the non-transparency. So transparency will improve the patent transaction. You don't want to buy a patent. If you want to buy a patent, you know who is the owner. Is the patent good or not? Is it valid? Is it safe? Freedom to operate. So here, intangible asset answers the question. Is instantly answered. The AI dream, they instantly answer the question whether you require legal or subject matter experts, and each occasion costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we can use if we use blockchain, of course, you know there are many related tokens. Non-fungible tokens provide the nurturing ground for IP transaction, so the cost will be reduced, and time is also reduced. So that's the benefit with emerge new technology. And the MF to make all contextual information available in one place, enable the value and rating system. So I will introduce this system soon. The user case is a smart service, and you can apply on transaction. Because IBM Hyperbridge, they embedded the smart contract. Smart contract is not a contract, but they have coding our legal term and our conditions into the program. So it's a programized contract executor. So whenever your contract goes, the previous record will be recorded. They will improve the transparency as well. So you may ask how it goes. What I just mentioned, if the patent office, the patent owner, the user, whoever interested in the patent business are all on this circle, and we mean blockchain environment. So whatever changes, people will know. So the correctness, transparency will be improved. And there will be real-time correctness, because some patent office, they don't update their patent, their website every day, maybe once a week, twice a week, once a month. So if you have patent transaction, the ownership, or whether they have a new patent, or the patent fee has been paid, annual fee has been paid or not, everything need to be transparent. And this is a technology which is promising. And many patent office, they have been experimenting blockchain project, but so far they have been harmonized, become a global plan. So using AI blockchain, they turn patent into an asset class. When we mean asset class, so the smart contract model built on blockchain, they will enable the platform to cover various models. For example, patent grant. If patent is granted, we know immediately. Annuity fee, annuity fee paid, then you know patent still value. Patent sold to someone else, then you can identify whether the person talk to you is the person who really you should be deal with. And using this AI blockchain system, if you can apply smart contract, then patent license agreement, patent pool, patent title confirmation, patent-based lending, tokenization, patent-based lending, or defense agreement, mutual, non-aggressive pact, they all can be done online. You may ask, what would be the benefit? For example, in old days, if we use CPA Global's, these figures are examples. CPA Global, they offer the software help you to manage your patent maintenance. So if you need to pay the patent fee, you use their software, and then you have to pay your US attorney, for example, $250 for administration, and then you need to pay the patent office fee. So there will be you need to pay patent office fee. So you have an office fee and you have to pay attorney fee. So blockchain, they remove the broker, that means the middleman. So you don't have to pay the attorneys. Of course, the law firms may not be happy for losing this business. You can just online and in this new platform. For example, if they charge you 30 USD, you can through the platform to pay for every patent office. You don't need to pay for attorneys, and it's cheaper than using this software. Using the platform is cheaper, so you have more money to maintain more patents. Since you have more money to maintain more patents, patent office will be also happy because you can pay more patent maintenance fee. So patent office is happy, patent owner is happy. Yeah. Also for the royalty fee, if your patent licensed to a couple hundred users, then you will need people to collect the fee for you. So the agency will eat up 5 to 8% of revenue, but if you use the platform, cost down certainly, and also time saving. So this was just online. Of course, the time will be much less. The cost will be saving, but it's an idea for this moment. So unlock IP potential. Previously, we mentioned the skill for module acquisition, technology transfer, R&D, IP finance. We all have to evaluate potential merger and acquisition candidate. We have to strengthen the position in technology negotiation, and we need to value R&D. We need to value the R&D efforts and prioritize research project, support valuation for IP loan collateral. So till now, I have demonstrated different ways how you can profit from patents and the current emerging technology and platforms, softwares on the market. So now I would like to compare the patent as real asset for your more comprehension. Patent, they have price like the real estate. Patent can be be pledged for loan, similar to the real estate. Patent can be transferred for sale, like the real estate. Patent can be rented, leased as well. You may not heard of it, but as the company Intellectual Discovery I just mentioned, and they could borrow, the small medium company could borrow patents from our Intellectual Discovery for defending the patent troll. Then after they have ceased their war, they could decide whether they would like to buy the patent or just rent it later, pay for the renting fee. So it could be leased. Patent need registration to the patent office. Real estate as well. They all have their legal position, same. So we have the land book, right? You have to pay the tax. Patent have to I don't know whether the other country need to pay this, but at least in Taiwan, every year we have to pay the tax for our properties, house or real or lands. You have to pay the tax, and patent need to pay the maintenance fee. So it's the same. For the valuation of the patent and the management of the patent, apart from the tool I just mentioned, the patent cloud, the Zeus analytic, you can also use a lot of the rating system technology. Royal Source, GTT, or Ocean Tomos, they all offer many wonderful technology. So you can use the quantity engine, and you can have the track IP news, IPO report, maintenance IP transaction database, IP transactions. So this, so the platform by AI analytics, they better have the rating system, valuation system, and they could give you the report, the answers, whether who is the owner, whether the patent is valid, who you can contact, right? You can contact the contact person. So the patent must be registered on the environment. So whether the patent is good or bad, what is its current situation. So they provide owner with ability to identify, research, evaluate, and transact. So it reveals the patent value and IP-related risk. So if we can all done automatically through AI and big data on platform, of course, they cut down the cost for traveling, for communication, and they also build up historical value for better budget control. So the future IP ecosystem, financial people could join, service provider, whoever interested in commercialization, monetization, research, or legal, or technology. Of course, we need a good database, the database for quality, for validity, valuation, essentiality, risk assessment, user identity, entity identification, and e-commerce capabilities as well. So I would just want to briefly mention AI big data analysis. They could predict patent value, quality, and validity, and verify the value, quality, and validity. But the decision, of course, is making by human being as well. For quality and value, different systems have a different principle. Here is the example we use. For example, for the quality, we will concern about the inventor's profile, applicant profile, life cycle citation, and also a licensing pre-grant assignment. They could help you to decide the value. For the quality, how is their claim structure? Independent claim, dependent claim. How about the prior art, the number of prior art? Examiners qualification, attorneys qualification, and inventors qualification. That they have different. You don't have to follow this principle. You may have your own decision, your judgment experience, but that was just the reference. You need to have standard, have factors. That's how you can make comparison. Automation in the system, machine learning, we can also embed it, as I just mentioned. You can embed it, legal phrase, legal terms, contract regulations in the system. But nowadays, it's not only the text mining can also do very well for the image. So immediately you have the drawing, dragging, they could help you to find the similar trademark or patents, help you to design a wrong or decide, make decision whether you would like to sue your infringers. That's have been applied globally. That's how you see there's so many litigation ongoing. So the patent quality that could be represented by in the system, as you can see, So whether the legal situation is expired or it's payment, the patent must be valid. If it's expired, you can always use it. It's free property for everybody to apply. And then the quality, the values, you can always see that. So why we say that why blockchain? Because it revolutionized the patent ecosystem. It's true. If evaluation the ecosystem, so using the power of blockchain, artificial intelligence, and data mining, predicting analytics, they unlock the global patent value and make every step of the process easier, simpler, cheaper, and faster. And they leverage the existing technology to make it free and easy to figure out who owns the patent and to identify the most basic and critical attributes of the patent. And it makes today's patent transaction and licensing acquisition easier, faster, simpler, reduce costs and frictions. And enable new types of patent transaction. They are currently impractical or too expensive, interaction, patent-based finance, sub-designation, and insurance and more. So applying emerging technology to promote system that benefits all members on the patent ecosystem, R&D, inventor, service provider, regulator, patent owner, and the whole society. So this is what I would like to show you how to monetize patent for the first part. And thereafter, I will show you the second part. So if you have any question, please raise your hand. We're very happy to answer you.